Kung ipapaitulot nyo, babasahin ko itong open letter to General Romeo Brawner. Dear General Romeo Brawner, Jr., I write this letter not as a political figure, but as a Filipino who has lived through wars, coup, assassination, dictatorship, betrayal, and revolution. I have buried friends, seen president rise and fall, faced real enemies, and watched our nation collapse more than once, not because of foreign forces, but because good men choose silence. I have stood in the middle of history more than times that I can count. I know the smell of a dying nation, General. Sir, I smell it again. This time the enemy is not foreign. This time the enemy is inside our own home. You speak open about China, about Taiwan, about war scenarios, about preparing for conflicts far beyond our shores. But how can we prepare for battles out there when we are losing the most important battle here at home? Our nation is collapsing, not because of foreign aggression, but because corruption has eaten us from the inside. Tell me, General, how can China be the problem when it is not China stealing billions from our national budget? China did not mastermind the flood control anomaly. China did not corrupt illegal insertions. China did not cause the peso to crash, the enemy to bleed, or investor to flee. Let us stop fooling ourselves. The cancer is not in the West Philippine Sea. The cancer is sitting comfortably in an air-conditioned offices, smiling at cameras while draining this country dry. General, sir, as the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, holds billions in intelligence funds. Billions. Are we supposed to believe that with all the intelligence money, you do not know what is happening? General, even the tricycle driver knows what is happening in our country. It is corruption. If this massive corruption escapes your radar, it can only mean two things. The AFP is being blinded, or it is being ordered to close their eyes. Neither is acceptable. Neither is forgivable to the Filipino people. And this is what Filipino cannot understand. Why are you protecting thieves? Why are you lending your dignity, your uniform, your honor to people who betray the nation every single day? General, you know exactly who they are. Yet the institution meant to defend the Republic is being used to defend the corrupt. Stop using external threats as a distraction from the crisis happening within our country. Stop provoking China. General, of all people, you understand the cause of war. Our country has no capacity for conflict, not when our soldiers cannot afford proper housing, not when our soldiers cannot afford housing, and not when our families struggle to buy rice, not when Philippine economy is gasping for life. China is not our enemy. Our enemy is the corrupt officials of our country. Look at our people. Listen to their sufferings. The peso is at its weakest, touching 60 pesos to $1. Foreign direct investment have collapsed to the lowest level in more than a decade. Jobs have disappeared. Food prices crush the poor. Fuel is at record high. Public debt has exploded. Our country now owes more than 17 trillion pesos. And we are paying 2 trillion yearly debt payment. 17 trillion. So mga anak natin may utang na, nakautang na. For sure, our economy cannot survive under this current government. Foreign investment is very low and cannot balance our economy. Hope is fading. This is not China's doing. This is the consequence of greed and incompetence. Masyado kayo sakim at walang alam kundi magnakaw na kaban ng bayan, maghurakot. To the uniformed men and women of this nation, you are being used. You are being given crumbs while others take billions. That small staggered salary increase was not help. It was a distraction. For 3 years, they will keep you tied with a staggered 15% increase, 5% yearly, until his term is over, release in small doses to control your loyalty. You are being tied like dogs instead of being honored as the nation's defender. Worse, reports now say that some ranking officials were given cash, not to help them, but to silence them. Money to keep them from acting, from speaking, from standing up. That is an insult to your uniform, your oath, and your dignity. You must show the nation that the armed forces cannot be fooled, bought, or manipulated. I challenge every good citizen, including the police and military alike, to come out and stand for our country. Stand and declare that you will not tolerate graft and corruption, not to fight the government, but to fight the corruption that is killing our country. Give your uniform a new purpose, a purpose far greater than small pay increase, meant to pacify you. Rally behind the truth. Rally behind the Filipino people. Because your voice, when united, is stronger than any politician. And if you continue to stay silent, then that silence, speak loudly. It means you accept the corruption. General Brawner, history is knocking on your door. One day, long after this administration is gone, your grandchildren and the history books will ask, where did the chief of staff stand when the nation was drowning in corruption? Did he protect the Filipino people or did he protect the corrupt politicians who betrayed them? At a time like this, your role becomes critical. I'm not asking you to violate the Constitution. I'm not asking you to remove the president. What I ask is a far simpler and far braver. Announce your stand against graft and corruption in a public place. Because today, silence is no longer neutral. Silence is taking sides. Silence is protecting the wrong people. Silence is betrayal. And if you stay silent, history will judge you harshly. The Filipino people will arrive at only one conclusion. that you became part of the corruption and that you sold the very country you swore to protect. Once again, to the uniformed men and women of this nation, do not let your silence bury our nation. We both love. Signed, Chavit Singson. Before I answer question, I have another message to my former friend, Bongbong Marcos. Honorable Bongbong Marcos and Speaker Martin Romualdez, with your permission, I'm going to Malacanang alone to challenge you into a debate about this press con with all the media as a witness. Thank you. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat at mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
So the question is, when do you plan to go to Malacanang to, debate with the president?
Yes.
Also, the AI video earlier said that if the president wants to save his presidency, then he should give up his cousin, the lawmaker Martin Romualdez. Is that a minimum, or does giving up Martin Romualdez really, is that all that's needed to save the Marcos presidency at this point?
No, both of them. Hindi na pwede magpatuloy pa si Bongbong Marcos dahil tuliro na sila. He is on drugs. Maliwanag, harap-harapan na itong kalukuhan na ginagawa nila. Walang mangyayari, walang maglakas loob. Kagaya ni Saldico. Paano nagkaroon ng 90 na security nung ginagamit nila sa Saldico? Ngayon, pinapauli na nila dahil kumanta. So, maliwanag na sila may kagawa nito. It's not enough that Martin Romualdez should be charged alone. Pareho sila. Pareho sila dahil sila nakakalam nito. Silang gumawa nito. Marcos Jr., Bongbong Marcos, alam niya lahat ng kalokohan. Panahon pa ni President Noynoy Aquino, panahon pa ni President Duterte, may nangyayari ng ganyan pero maliitan. Ngayon, alam niya, hindi niya binuko dahil kung bubukuhin niya, hindi na siya makagawa ng pera. He chose, pinili niya ang gumawa ng pera. Total, walang aangal, may kasalanan na lahat. Yun ang totoo nangyari.
Follow-up question, sir. When do you plan to go to Malacanang to debate with the president? And how do you intend to help Divine Providence along? Because you mentioned that 40 years after EDSA, so the 40 is a very important, auspicious number. How do you help, how do you intend to help Divine Providence along? Apart from the rally, apart from the debate, apart from the letter to General Brawner, what else do you want? What else are you willing to do?
Kung anong rason nila na bakit nandiyan pa sila, yun, magdadebate kami doon. Anong rason nila? Dahil ako, nasabi ko na lahat. Divine Providence, dahil nga inantay ko itong 40th year, very symbolic ang number 40 in the Bible. Maski sa Islam, mayroon din number 40. So, yun, nasisiguro ko, I'm dead sure that matatanggal. Hindi pwede ipagpatuloy itong ganitong gobyerno. Niluloko na tayo. Hindi pwede, mga kababayan, wag tayo pumayag na ipagpatuloy ito. Tuloy-tuloy na pagnanakaw nila hanggang maubos ang pera. Kinuha na lahat. Pera ng taong bayan, yung PhilHealth, PDIC, kinuha. Wala na. Hindi na mapatakbo itong gobyerno ito. Sinasagad nila. Tapos tatakbo na lang.
Sorry, when, sir? When are you going to Malacanang?
ASAP. Sinasabi ko na ngayon. Kung bukas ang sinabi nila, pupunta ako sa Malacanang. If they accept my challenge. And yung one time, big time, the soonest possible, one time, big time na rally, ASAP din. The soonest possible time, but I have to talk to all the religious organization, lahat ng ayaw ng graft and corruption, lahat ng Pilipino, kaliwa o kanan, maski sino. Basta sama-sama po tayo lahat para mahinto na itong garapalan na pagnanakaw ng kaban ng bayan.
Yeah, Christian Manasa po, Malaya Business Insight. Mr. Chavit, I'm just going to ask about, in 2022, you made a statement in ABS-CBN regarding that all Marcos assets are not ill-gotten wealth. Why now parang different na yung sinasabi niyo po regarding sa Marcos has been being corrupt since his father time. Ano po yung masasabi natin, explanation po natin doon?
Gusto niya lampasan tatay niya eh. Nasa Guinness Book of Record ng tatay nila.
Opo.
So, I think he's destined. That's why I believe in God, I believe in miracle, and I believe destiny. He is destined to the throne of his father in the Guinness Book of Record.
Okay. Another question po, regarding po dun sa ano natin, yung fighting against the government. Sir, medyo may history tayo sa politics na parang medyo worried ang public. Pero how can you convince everyone that you're more credible as a person than those who are sitting in the administration or whatever na inaccuse natin po?
Anong ibig sabihin?
Yung ano po, sir, you mean, what you're accusing now is, syempre, is very big. Ang ano namin is yung sinasabi, syempre, automatic they will try to debunk or discredit what you're saying. What are you going to present na as a person na mas credible yung sinasabi nyo kaysa sa mga ipapalabas ngayon ng, syempre magka-counterattack yung mga inakusan nyo, particularly
More credible yung sinasabi ko kay sila.
Opo, sir.
And ang liwanag na nakawan. Naka-record. Naka-record lahat ng nakawan. Anong mapapala ko diyan? Wala akong mapapala. I stand to lose everything. Pero ginagawa ko ito para sa ating kababayan. I want justice.
Isa pa po, Yusek Claire, bakit ayaw po ba? Or bakit tinanggihan yung hamon ni Chavit Singson na debate laban sa Pangulo, yung Pangulo at ng dating Speaker?
Ulit po, debate po na hinamon ni
Chavit Singson, na debate po ang Pangulo at ang former Speaker para daw sa issue ng corruption.
I can only speak for the President.
Apo, okay.
Okay? Unang-una po, napaka-busy po ng Pangulo. Sabi nga po natin, itong pag-aaral pa lang ng budget, wala po talaga naging bakasyon ng Pangulo. So, iisipan po niya pang makipagdebate. When in fact, ang pagdidebate po ay hindi po sagot para maibsan ang korupsyon. Ang issue tungkol sa mga anomalyang flood control projects. Ang sagot po dito ay aksyon. Aksyon, hindi bakasyon. So, yun po ang ginagawa ng Pangulo. Uma-action po siya. Sinimulan niya po, after the SONA, sinabi niya mahiya naman kayo. So, from that time, nagsimula na po siya magpa-imbestiga. Hindi po nakukuha ang pagsawata sa korupsyon ng pagdebate. Ang sabi nga po natin, kung tungkol lang sa korupsyon ang pinag-uusapan at gustong idebate, sana noon pa po nakipagdebate nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Duterte na umaming siya'y corrupt. At umamin din na talamak ang ghost projects nung panahon niya. Sana noon, mas naging maingay sila.
Yusek Claire, meron pang isa. Dahil si Chavit Singson ay nag-imbita rin. Nag-iinganyo sa mga mamamayan na pumunta doon sa isang malakihang rally daw niya. At dahil doon ay ipapanawagan na sigurado na raw.
Oo, sabi niya.
Sigurado. Na bababa na si Pangulong Marcos at dapat nang bumaba. Yan po ba ay bordering to inciting to sedition?
Yes po. For me, my take, yes.
Po?
Sa akin palagay as a lawyer, yes po. Dahil ang pag-iinggan niya sa tao para pabaksakin ang Pangulo, patalsikin ang Pangulo, inciting to sedition po yan.
Ano pong gagawin ng gobyerno tungkol dyan? Kasi nag-press con po siya eh. Sa press con po niya yan sinabi.
Okay, may iniinggan niya siya. Ang tanong lang natin, may nainggan niya ba siya?
Okay.
Pero
Okay.
ipapatanong ko po ito, hindi po ako magdi-decision dito. Maaari mag-decision po dito ang DOJ dahil meron naman po silang authority to investigate motu proprio. At tignan po natin, hindi po ako makakapagsalita in behalf of the DOJ.